David Ayer. God, I love this guy. He's been tweeting a lot, and this is going to go back to Thursday again. It seems like things happen on Thursday, and I'm like, oh, crap. I guess I'll talk about it on the Vodka stream and then, of course, talk about it on here. And we'll do a recap because, yes, we did talk about it on the Vodka stream. But just in case you didn't see that, we'll do a little bit of recap. But when it came to, of course, he's been tweeting a lot about the Ayer cut, posting behind-the-scenes images, props, and everything. He's been doing a lot of that, which is great. We love it when he does that kind of stuff. But he did tweet out something. He quote-tweeted somebody. He basically quote-tweeted somebody, and people got upset. People got big-time upset when it came to who he quote tweeted and what he said. Somebody was saying like, this person right here, who apparently is not the best person, but David Ayer didn't know it. And I love it how fans just assume that David Ayer should know it. Again, directors, these people that are here that we looked up to, they are not on Twitter as much as you. Okay, you're on Twitter 24/7 and of course have screenshots and everything and know everything and who the bad people are, who the good people are. Yes, sure. But David Ayer is out there creating movies, creating content, making things. Yes, he jumps on Twitter, spends a little time, and then he logs off. The fact that people got upset about him basically quote tweeting somebody that says like, that they said that, the fan base from a certain director is going to come for you. And then he said, oh, yeah, the vultures are already circling. So then, of course, naturally, people in the fandom got offended. And it was funny because I was defending David Ayer, and I'm like, do you guys really think he knew what the hell he was talking about? And I'm like, and if you're offended by it, maybe you should internalize that a little bit, because have you dogpiled on David Ayer because you don't like the fact that he is supporting the new DCU, he's supporting Blue Beetle, he is supporting James Gunn? Do you not like, if you don't like that and you helped with the dogpiling, because he's been dogpiled on by these fans many times before for doing this. And that's who he was talking about. So if you are part of that, maybe you should internalize that a little bit. You shouldn't get offended. If you have not done that, he's not talking about you. That's not who he was talking about. And he clarified it too. He ended up clarifying. He had to come back on later that day. I think it was on Thursday, because I remember when I was driving home from the comedy show, I was looking at his tweets and he was trying to figure out why am I being dogpiled on again? And then of course the person that he quote tweeted, apparently is a piece of shit. I had no idea who this person was. And then of course people, because they're on Twitter 24/7, they had screenshots and all this stuff, and they were like, look at this, look at that, this person. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. I assume he didn't know that either. So okay, that person's garbage. But he didn't know that. So we got concept art right here, a bunch of freaking skulls that are hovering around the Joker right here. And that's what he just basically captioned this to original intent. So basically this was not going to be in the final movie, but there was an idea of Enchantress doing some crazy shit when it came to her powers, and the Joker, of course, being a part of it. Why are so many people committed to misunderstanding everything? Why on earth would I call cool, supportive, and positive fans vultures? To me, a vulture is someone who jumps on posts seeking to create divisiveness, drama, and sling venom. The negativity is just sad. It's not fun. This stuff is supposed to be something we can all share and enjoy. Like I said earlier, I simply cannot keep track of all the basm, whatever the hell that word is, and profile. Goddamn, big words there. I'm trying to talk fast and I can't do it. Parties of the fandom. Can we get back to enjoying movies, please? Yes. And to anyone I offended with the vulture label, I bow my head and apologize. Unless, of course, they have been pushing negativity. Let's stop with the pearl clutching and fake drama, please. And this person deleted their tweet. They deleted their tweet. He cannot keep track of all this BS. So if you were offended and you were slinging your dung at David Ayer, fuck you. We got the suitcase. We got the suitcase that is showing Harley Quinn's case right there. We got some bats. We got the mallet. We got the gesture suit in there. We got some bras. It looks like an American flag is there. So here we go right here. Look at this. Look at this. So there's another piece of concept art we have not seen that shows Enchantress doing some crazy, crazy shit right here. And his caption says this. It's just concept art. It ain't that deep. Again, it ain't that deep. Another thing that fans need to realize, concept art is just something that they had an idea beforehand. Some people are now going to think that this shot is in the Ayer cut because they don't think. The idea was Enchantress was altering the reality around her and changing the environment. The Joker image is a simple take on that concept. So the Joker concept with all the skulls, that was Enchantress creating that. And then she was going to do something like that too. We could have seriously gotten the Ayer cut in 2019 if Ayer played his cards right. It's a damn shame. Oh my God. So this guy right here, whatever the hell, doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he said, sure, okay. And now he's trying, and that's the thing. The people that hate the fact that he's supporting the DCU and James Gunn, he's trying to get his Ayer cut by supporting all what's happening right now, because that's what you do. He's being a businessman himself. And then he brought this up right here. So this actually, okay, so the Enchantress was an alien invader and never part of the native culture of the Pantheon here, or the Pantheon here. She was a bad guy, and she was defeated in ancient times only to reappear elsewhere. So Enchantress, not being some mythical god or whatever, you know, all that kind of stuff, an alien. We've heard this concept before. We have heard this concept before, and guess what? This person nailed it right here. Holy shit, that matches Zack's aliens gods theology of the Snyderverse. Just like Zeus and Ares were survivors of an ancient Kryptonian scout ship of Man of Steel, Enchantress is an alien apocalyptian who was worshipped as a deity. And David Ayer said, exactly. So even David Ayer was working with Zack when they had the concept that there was a possibility that Amazonians were actually Kryptonians. Remember, it was talked about at Full Circle. But it was an idea that just didn't come to fruition. I'm just saying, I mean, there are people that are just not happy with him. And, and it sucks too because, and I remember somebody in my mentions was like, basically blaming David Ayer for not having the Ayer cut out right now. And it's just, I love it when fans just assume they know everything. And you got to not look at it like that. You got to figure out like, okay, this is not the same. This is not like the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut was it's a culture phenomenon. I mean, it went out there. It's mainstream. Everybody talks about release the so-and-so cut now anytime something happens. It's something that's never happened before. It's absolutely crazy, and it blew up. It absolutely blew up. But then we also got to take in that it was a different situation. And look what happened when it came to, I mean, obviously Zack made Man of Steel, then BVS, and then the reaction to Man of Steel, the studio started interfering with BVS a little bit. And then after the reaction to BVS, they really started interfering with Justice League. And then what happened with Justice League, a tragedy and all that stuff, he walked away, and then they completely turned it into something else. So it's not exactly the same. And the campaigns and the support for it is not as big, sure. I wish it was bigger, but sadly it's not quite as big. But I just think there's hope because, again, what he said in the tweets too is the fact that James Gunn, when he met with James Gunn, and of course a lot of people just assume that James Gunn's lying, but he met with James Gunn saying like, hey, discussions went well, there'll be a time and a place when we share it. And from what I gathered, and I think other people are talking about it too, is 10-year anniversary is coming up in 3 years. Maybe it'll get released in some kind of special director's cut edition when it comes to that. We'll see.